Super fucking man.
There's no swearing in the movie. He had a swear word in the movie.
You had one, right?
You did?
The general.
Right.
He said, "What the fuck?" And then the government said, "A general wouldn't swear."
Yeah.
Generals have never sworn.
Never. I'll tell you a story about me and Michael going out and having a few drinks.
Michael's like,
Yeah. All right, if that's how you'd like to begin.
lychee.
Lychee martinis.
That was in Chicago, in that little place outside Chicago, Naperville.
Naperville.
Really good lychee
Yeah, which is known for swinging.
Trees.
What?
Is
I
it?
didn't know that until after I left. Yeah, I was talking to somebody who comes from there. All those little innocent notes I got from people down the road saying, "Would you like to come over and do some yoga?" Now,
You're so
see,
innocent.
I look at those things differently. What we're doing now, just naturally, way more interesting. Now you're going to ask these bullshit questions. It's going to be like, well, okay.
What if a child dreamed of becoming something other than what society had intended? What if a child aspired to something greater? My son will give the people of Earth an ideal to strive towards. In time, he will help them accomplish wonders.
You believe your son is safe?
I will find him!
I had quite a funny experience after the phone call with Zack, which I missed initially.
I'm like, yeah, is Henry there? I want to tell him he's going to be Superman. No, he can't come to the phone right now.
Anyway, I call Zack back. He tells me I have the movie, and then I call everyone. Not one person picks up. And so I'm standing there in my room going, did I just dream this?
Yeah, I could have been a prank call.
Just joking.
Just joking. Hey,
Yeah. You were terrible.
that's so funny that you thought I meant that. That's crazy.
What's the S stand for?
It's not an S. On my world, it means hope.
Well, here it's an S. How about...
Excuse me.
My fiance is a really big superhero graphic novel fan, so he was really excited. Then we had some inappropriate conversation, which I suddenly feel like not mentioning.
Yeah. It's like, oops.
Wait a second.
more inappropriate, the better.
He was very
Go on.
excited that I was Lois Lane, and so...
He's got a
leave it at that.
costume
He-
himself,
yeah.
has he?
Yeah, we'll just leave it at that. Who needs details? Yeah.
How do you find someone who has spent a lifetime covering his tracks? For some, he was a guardian angel. For others, a ghost who never quite fit in.
I said to my two boys, I said, no, I'm going to be Superman's dad. So if I'm Superman's dad, what does that make you? My oldest thought about it for a second and he went, oh, Superman's brother? I just thought that was really cool.
That was really cool.
Goodbye, my son. Our hopes and dreams travel with you.
He'll be an outcast.
How? He'll be a god to them.
When I got the part they gave us as a present, that giant DC book, I used to just lay it on my chest and hope through osmosis that I would absorb the ancient secrets. But
I never even opened mine. It's still got the plastic on it.
oh no,
Oh,
really?
dude, sell that.
You could sell it, sign it, sell
What do you
it.
think I'm going to do?
Yeah.
Sorry.
I had a Justice League bedspread.
From what ages? Like a couple of years ago?
Yeah, from 13 to 26.
You know, I always think about the 50s, you know, the TV show. The dun, 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 dun. For whatever reason, it's just ingrained in my mind. It's like, you know, strange visitor from another planet who came to Earth with power beyond those of, you know, like, I mean, you've just seen it like 1,000 times on TVs.
Right. Personally, during all of my research, the stuff which I really, really enjoyed was from Modern Age, which was Death of Superman, Return of Superman, that kind of stuff. Quite simply, just because it was getting to a point where they wanted to make the stories somehow different, and there was that wonderful sort of evolutionary stage. And also, I love the artwork, and the story writing was good. And that sort of, but the evolutionary stage certainly applied to what we were doing with Superman as well. It's the new suit and the different kind of character and a bit more insight into how he feels about being in the world.
I have so many questions. Where do I come from?
By the way, that Clark Kent was not a bumbling Kent, you know. He was very cool, you know, fedora.
Not a bumbling Kent.
Cool. David Goyer, the writer of the screenplay, he'll talk about, like, there was a super horse, super dogs,
Yeah.
super chimp. I think his name is Bupo the chimp. Whenever I have a question, I call David and ask him about, like, is this cool?
No, if I had any Superman questions, I'd just call Amy's fiance.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
Mr. Red Pants.
He is going to
Just so you know, we never reenacted anything. It was
You
just a
did
joke.
so. Come on.
Well, normally it's taken me about 5 months to draw the movies. For me, it's like the first time you get kind of to take a run at the movie. You know, when you get on set, you know, you've kind of done it once in your head. But in this case, it was another 3 or 4 months of just R&D on the fighting.
That's actually one of the key things on this film, man, is the level of preparation really surprised me. It's so old school, you know, zeroing in on those fight sequences. So when we shot them, they went just like, you know, as smooth as you can have because of the preparation.
My name is General Zod. Your world has sheltered one of my citizens. Surrender within 24 hours or watch this world suffer the consequences.
Yeah, we ran that fight a good 100 times before we actually filmed it. I just told Russell to be gentle, you know. I'm not used to this kind of thing.
The fate of your planet rests in your hands.
I'm gonna stop you.
And the greatest thing about, although we were there for months, the stunt guys were there for months before that even, building all the stuff. So by the time we got there, they were teaching us, as opposed to them trying to learn it as well as us.
But people don't do that anymore, you know. People put the pressure back on the actor, you know, in your life. Just, you know, find the odd moment to do your preparation.
I think I'm the only person who didn't have to train.
You look great.
Anyway, that's all. Oh, thank you. I was fishing for a compliment, so.
Yeah,
You don't need to train. For God's sakes, Amy, you don't need to train.
My son, you can save all of them.
No day in particular where I was like, okay, cool, yeah, I look like Superman now. You always think you can do better. You always think you can be leaner, or I should have worked that harder. You put a lot of pressure on yourself in that sense. There was no point where you look at yourself and you go,
Every day.
no, it's not where you look at yourself and you go, oh yeah, I'm awesome.
Every morning.
He walks on set and says, I'm Superman.
Yeah.
And we had to say it to him as well.
Yeah, it was
Morning,
in a memo
Superman.
passed out every morning. You look incredible today.
Nice day for flying.
Because you're working so hard. When it came to the training, I mean, I think it was 5 months, over 5 months worth of training before the movie and then training throughout. I had a full day after every training session each morning.
You get the massage, right?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
the key, right?
Each other.
No, yeah, each other.
That was how we
It's very
saved money.
Massage ring.
In costume. Yeah.
I had a hard
Full
time
costume.
working through the rubber suit, though, to get to your, what are they called?
Buttocks?
Yeah.
It is interesting, though. Like, for instance, when you flew the first time from the ground, right? Like, we were doing a shot where he flies away. It was, like, actually one of the first times we shot in the suit, right?
Yeah.
So it was Amy and Henry coming down on a wire, and they had a dialogue scene, and then Henry flies out of the scene. And we hadn't talked about it, like, how it was going to end, right? Because he's just supposed to... It's a visual effect. He just goes and flies out of the scene. And so Henry did this thing where he inhaled deeply and kind of like looked up.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's the flying away.
Right.
We never went like, okay, when I finish the dialogue
Yeah,
and I have to
what's
fly
gonna
away, is there anything I should do?
She just walked off.
Yeah. He had to do this thing where he did his flyaway, then he had to duck down.
Right.
Yeah, it was really bizarre.
People who didn't know, and it happened to quite a few people on camera, who didn't know what I was doing, they'd just be staring at me while everyone else was doing that. A couple of guys who were in the movie, and special forces guys, and they were standing there being all tough and hard, and they told me afterwards that they saw me suddenly look up and breathe, and one of them was going, he's got a really long neck. And you could see this whole process happening on camera, and everyone's like, dude, he's not there anymore.
Yeah.
So, oh, okay. I thought, if I was flying and I wanted to go right, what would I do? If I was flying and I really wanted to go faster, what would I do? I just tried to keep it really simple. I didn't overthink it. If you're riding a horse, you look in the direction that you want to make the horse go. And so that happens naturally after some time. When you're doing something like flying, I would say it's much the same. You move your body in the direction that you want it to go. I thought just choosing one way or the other wasn't the way of doing it.
So that stuff.
Yeah, that was when
You chucked that out
The
really
Cavill.
early on.
That was
Early on, wasn't
That
it?
was the
R&D.
prototype. Prototype Superman.
Yeah.
I remember going, yeah, that's a thing.
good
We
work.
should probably film that.
Good work.